Hello, boys and girls. We're getting ready for some math, okay? So it is now time for math. We're going to become mathematicians. So what we're going to be working on today is our worksheets. Remember these from school? So if you have these printed at home, great. If not, that's fine. You can just look at mine, or you can have a piece of paper and kind of go along with this, okay? So we're not going to need these right now, but I wanted you to know that this is what we'll be working on today, okay? So I'm going to set mine aside, and I'm going to bring out two things, okay? And I'm going to show you those two objects, and I want you all to describe these two objects, okay? You ready? We have some shoes. All right, I want you all to think of some ways that you can describe these shoes. What can you say about these shoes? Let's start with this one. So come up with, how can you describe this shoe? Tell me about this shoe. Come up with some more. What are some more? Good. So maybe you said it's a sandal. Maybe you said it has two straps. It's black and brown. It has leopard on it. Maybe you said it's a girl's shoe. So you described this shoe. Now describe this shoe. What else? How can you describe this shoe? Maybe you said it has laces. Maybe you said it's a tennis shoe. You talked about the color. It's gray. You could have said it has stripes on the side. So good. We talked about ways or how we can describe these shoes. But what we're going to do today, we're going to talk about another way that we can describe objects. And we can describe objects by length, okay? So I wrote down some vocabulary words that we're going to use today. And let's look at these vocabulary words and their definitions. So what we're going to talk about today is length. And if we say the word length, length is how long something is. How long something is. Let's say that together. Length is how long something is. Okay? Another vocabulary word and a way that we can describe things is by the height. Height is how tall something is. Say that. How tall something is. Good. And then we have long or longer. If an object is longer, it's having a length that is greater than another object. So it's longer. It goes farther. It goes farther. It's longer. And then if we have this vocabulary word, it's tall or taller. If something's taller, it's having a height that is greater than another object. So the height, it's taller if it goes higher. And then if something is shorter, it's having a length that is less than another object. So we have taller and shorter. Good. Taller and shorter. And when we compare length or height, when we can compare length and height, we're deciding if an object is longer or taller than, or if it's shorter than an object. And then it can even be the same height or the same length. So when we're comparing, we're figuring out which one's longer or taller, which one's shorter, or if they're the same, okay? So let's go back to these shoes. And now I want you to compare the length of these two shoes, okay? Can you compare the length of the tennis shoe and the sandal? Would you agree if I said the tennis shoe is longer? Yeah. And how could we describe the sandal? The sandal would be what? Good. The sandal is shorter. So the tennis shoe is longer than the sandal, and the sandal is shorter than the tennis shoe. Good. You compared the length of those shoes. You compared the length of those shoes. So if you have this paper, I want you to look at it. If not, just look at mine. And how can we compare the length of these two shoes, of the red and blue shoe? Which shoe would be longer? See how they start the same spot? Which one is longer? And remember, longer, it's having a length that is greater. So which one is greater? Which one's length is greater? Good, the red shoe. And one way that we can do that is, I drew a line down from the red shoe. And is that blue shoe to that line? No. So that means that blue shoe is shorter and the red shoe is longer. Good. So if you want to, you can circle the red shoe because it is longer. Good job. It is longer. Its length is greater than the blue shoe. Alrighty. So what we're going to do next is I have 2 pencils and I want you all to help me compare the length or the height of these 2 pencils, okay? So here they are. Can you really tell right now which one's taller? No, it's really hard. So I'm going to tell you or show you how you can easily tell which objects are shorter or longer. So what you always have to do when you're comparing the length or height is they have to start at the same point. Just like when you're like racing someone, you all have to start at that same spot. No one can get ahead. The same thing with objects when you're comparing them. You can't have one starting way over here, then it looks like it's longer, right? So you make sure that they're lined up. And then that way you can easily see which one's taller or shorter or which one's longer or shorter. So which pencil is longer? The top one, right? It goes past it. Its length is greater. And so this pencil is what? Shorter. Good. It's less. Good. The same thing for height. Which one's taller? Good. So you see how it goes past this pencil. So this pencil would be shorter, and I still had them lined up, okay? Good. So after the video, if you have your worksheet, then you can maybe find a pencil around your house and compare your pencil to the pencil that's on the worksheet. And you can see it has these dotted lines where you can make sure that you start at the same spot. So remember, they have to start at the same spot. No cheating. So let's see if I can do this. Which one is longer? It's kind of hard to tell, but we can look right here. And this one goes past it a little bit, doesn't it? Let's look at this one. Whoa, that goes way past it, doesn't it? Put it on the dotted line. Good. So after this lesson, you all can find some pencils and compare to the pencil that's on your worksheet. If you don't have pencils, see, I drew a line because that's where it shows how far this pencil went. If you don't have this worksheet, then you can draw pencils on a plain piece of paper and compare the length of the pencils that you have at home. So, good job. So what we're going to do now is I'm going to show you some objects that I got from my house, and I want you to decide which objects. We're going to compare the objects to see which one is longer or shorter, or which one's taller or shorter, okay? So the first things I have are some cubes. I took these from school. We have some blue cubes and some red cubes. So if we want to compare the height is how tall something is. If we want to compare the height of these cubes, what's the first thing that we need to do? Okay, we need to line them up at the same starting point. So I have them lined up, and now we can easily tell which color cubes is taller. Good. The blue cubes are taller than the red cubes, or the red cubes are shorter than the blue cubes. Good job. Okay, I have some straws. Let's see, which one's shorter? The red one or the white and green stripe one? Is it kind of hard to tell how I have them right now? Yeah, what do we need to do? We need to line them up the same starting point, and we can tell which one's shorter. Good. You see? Because the red one goes past it, so it's taller, and this one is shorter. Good job. The next thing I have are some remotes for my TV. So let's see which one's longer. Let's see, I lined them up. Which one's longer? Good, the taller one, because its length is greater. It goes past, it's longer. Good job. Okay, I went into my pantry and got a can of corn and a can of green beans. Which can is shorter? The corn. And the green beans is what? Taller. Good. Alright, let's do some glasses. I have a taller glass and a shorter glass. Which one's taller? Good. And which one's shorter? This one. Yeah. Good. Great job comparing the length or height of my objects. So remember, today we worked on length or height, and the length is how long or how short something is, and the height is how tall or how short something is. So great job comparing the objects with me. And like I said, if you have this paper, then you can compare some pencils around your house. If you don't have this paper, then just do it on a regular piece of paper, and you can compare the length of some pencils. Alrighty, I'll see you next time.